There was an article today in the newspaper in the UK, the Daily Mail. £120 million is wasted by drivers because they don't check their tyres, so they might have a blowout on the motorway.
Hello and welcome everyone to a brand new episode of the Auto Tech Show. My name is Marc Babin, your host, and as always, it's great to have you with me for what's set to be a really interesting discussion. It's an episode you're going to be glad that you clicked to listen through. Now, on today's podcast, we're talking about how cutting edge technology in the automotive space can help to close the tire retail gaps that exist and continue to pop up here and there. And to help me do this today, I'm very excited to welcome in studio Tony Mann, the managing director at Tyrescope Limited, who in partnership with well-known brand Stapletons is proud to be bringing sales and marketing solutions to both tire and fast fit industries. Tony, it's quite an interesting topic, this closing the gap. And I'm really looking forward to what you're going to share today. I know you have lots of insights from building what you've built, but first and foremost, thank you so much for being here. Really looking forward to it.
Thank you very much for inviting me and taking the risk.
Taking the risk. On my part, if anything, this is great. I'm really happy to have you. So let's take a quick look and dive straight into it on this disruptive side and disruptive innovation and how it's really helping to tackle the gaps when we look at the customer service side. So how are you and the work you're doing with Tyrescope aiming to disrupt what's traditionally being done in the tire retail models and enhancing all elements of retail?
So we've been providing innovations for a while now, but they were always aimed at the retailer. So can we save them time, save them money, and help them sell more? So that's all it was. What we decided to do this time is look more at the consumer. So, same principles. Can we save them time? Can we save them money? And rather than sell more, can we help keep them safe? So that's the way we looked at it. And we've come up with a solution, like you say, Stapletons are supporting us in this, which is a sales and marketing and communication platform, which incorporates the Anyline sidewall scanner and tread scanner, which, I mean, we can now identify a size, or a driver can identify a size. If they need a tire, they could get a discount and a link straight to an e-commerce website to buy within 90 seconds now.
Incredible.
It's absolutely huge. And we were just chatting outside before we came in about trying to get all the amount of drivers that don't get notified when they need tires. In the UK, it's different. I've just learned that in Austria, you actually get notification you need tires. In the UK, you don't. So 42% of drivers in the UK do not check their tires. They admit to not checking their tires.
Scary.
Oh, ridiculous. So again, with the scanner, we're now able to predict when they need tires, send them a notification, send them a discount, and send them and connect them to a retailer for quick rectification. So exciting.
Is that really then the lack of communication and that lack of understanding? Is that really the main gap that you're trying to combat? Or is there changing customer models? Everyone expects everything on demand, this Amazon effect. Is that what you're trying to essentially hit head on?
Yeah, there's elements of people wanting things instantly. And obviously we give them that because, they scan their tires and we tell them straight away, yes,
instant
you need
gratification, instant feedback.
Exactly. And then again, it's not just instant results, it's instant purchase.
Yeah.
Or if
the opportunity or the information to purchase.
Exactly. So it's there, like I said, within 90 seconds. But I think the challenge, I mean, it's all right coming up with solutions that are, innovative, but the challenge then is to make sure or encourage these 42% to actually check their tires, use the tools. That's why we've wrapped the scanner up in this I'll call it an SMC, it's easier. Because then they get benefits of discounts and exclusive offers. And we're finding, I mean, we've already launched it in the UK with a pilot scheme that the people are really jumping on board. It's absolutely fantastic.
So that was kind of, they didn't know they wanted it, is what you're kind of finding.
Yeah.
They didn't know they needed it, perhaps even more importantly.
Yeah, no, exactly. But, if these people aren't testing their tires, they're, without realizing it, they're costing themselves. Well, there was an article today in the newspaper in the UK, the Daily Mail, like 120 million pounds is wasted by drivers because they don't check their tires. So they might have a blowout on the motorway. So they need to pay for someone to come out. They're paying a premium. That fitter will bring a tire that he wants to sell. It's probably a premium, and he's probably going to put a premium on top of the premium. So, there's a huge amount of tires that there's a huge amount of money we can save the customer. Not
to mention the safety aspect you mentioned earlier, having that information and being more aware of what's going on with something that you're putting your life in every day is a huge intangible value.
Oh, it is. And there's an even scarier statistic. So 42% don't check the tires, right, but 72% don't realize the dangers, which is unbelievable. So like I say, the challenge is to get it out there, and the partnership with Stapletons is that's why it's so valuable for us, because we can get it out into the retailers who in turn will.
So knowing that that's the main gap and that's the main challenges that exist, those stats are scary, especially knowing how many people are on the road. And if you take, 3 of every 4 cars that passes, they're unaware of the situation or the dangers, that's terrifying. So knowing that exists, obviously what you've been able to build technology-wise is looking to combat that, looking more holistically at how technology can help to close that gap. What do you see in the market? What do you see that technology can do? Is it an education factor? Is that the key thing that technology brings? Is it that real-time feedback? What does technology offer to these challenges?
It was certainly education. Yeah, certainly education, but also and like we just touched on the instant results. It all boils down. So the way we had to do it, Marc, was it's all about the take up. So people
using
actually using it. So we had to build this system, obviously all technology based, that had to benefit wholesalers, retailers, and customers.
It's a lot of people to make happy.
Yeah, it's not easy.
No.
But luckily, we've been about for a long time, so we know the pain points of the wholesaler and the retailer, and obviously I'm a driver, so I know
as a consumer,
for that. But then you wrap it all and you get all of those benefits, and then you say, okay, how do we get that out to the driver? Great, this is a way. We'll use the driver clubs. So we get it out to the driver, and then how do you then show the driver how to scan? So then you've got to educate the driver how to scan. So there's a whole host of problems that you've got to overcome before you finally see the drivers scanning and using it how they should use it. Luckily, we've managed to get it, or early signs are very good anyway.
Do you see, and there must be a generational difference on how people adopt new technology and new pieces and who's actually using your solution? Is there a certain generation that you're looking to really nail before everyone jumps in on it, to really give that kickstart? Or is it a shotgun approach where you're just trying to get it in everyone's hand and get everyone using it?
Yeah, it's shotgun. It's very, very interesting what we're seeing. So the second retailer that joined the pilot, we turned it on. We integrate it into their existing website, so it's super easy to it's turnkey. Yeah. And immediately we could trace someone signed up, someone scanned, and when it needed tires and went in and purchased. So I was straight on the phone to the retailer. Can you get a bit of feedback? How did they find it? What was it like? And it was a 63-year-old woman who'd just gone out themselves and scan, and away they go.
See, that's surprising.
Yeah, really surprising.
Yeah.
But also what we're finding, and it is just the gender, because women are far better at the initial scan. They're far better at picking it up.
Patience.
Well, we think it's because they read the instructions.
Yeah, men just go swipe, swipe, swipe.
Yeah.
I know how to do this. Yeah.
Yeah. So again, you know, we learned. So we learned, okay, that might happen. So let's put a fix in for that. If that does happen, we need to do this. But no, everyone who drives a car basically can use this, and it's really easy. Like I say, you know, 90 seconds from check to purchase if they need a tire.
Not to mention that incentive that you mentioned earlier. How important is that side of it? Obviously, having that real-time feedback and knowing what's going on with your vehicle is important. But do you feel like that incentivized version for discounted options or club options and membership deals, like, is that what really gets the ball rolling quicker?
Yeah, it does. It does. To be honest, it was a decision we weren't really sure on. Do we focus on the scanner, or do we focus on the driver club, the discounts? We decided initially to, okay, let's try and focus on two. But we found that people were signing up for the driver clubs and using the discounts en masse. You know, really? We turned it on
immediately.
Yeah, immediately. And the benefits for the retailer, you know,
huge.
Oh, unbelievable. Not just the data capture, but average ticket values were going up, margin was going up. People were spending more because they got the voucher. And then it was, okay, so now we've got them, they're purchasing. How do we now start focusing on the scanning? Because to be honest, for the retailer, it's great getting their discount, but I would say it's even more valuable keeping them safe, you know, and continually keeping them safe.
Well, building a customer for not even extended purchases and ongoing purchases, but building a customer that you can start to develop trust with, which has kind of been lost in the automotive industry for a number of reasons. This can help maybe to bring it back.
100%. And it was one of the things when I was coming up with this solution, it was one of the things I wanted to focus on was we want to give the consumer more control, and trust comes with control. And we managed to tick that box, which is great.
Yeah, do a bit of both. So as you mentioned, you've been in this for a long time, and you're obviously looking when you're developing this solution at where do I want to go and how do I want to build this and what do I want to build? Current trends. There's a lot of stuff on the market. It just seems like the tech walls are being filled with various solutions. What are the trends you're really excited about seeing right now?
I think it's probably best to be a trendsetter.
Hey, there you go. I like
it. To be honest, it doesn't really change much, especially in the UK. You know, retailers are set in their way. It's difficult to get anyone to change. Even you know, when I first started getting involved in e-commerce, you know, it was difficult to persuade. They're all, I imagine it's the same the world over. They're family stores. It's the father, give it down to the son, and you know, so they're not really. They don't really want to change. You have to explain, okay, this is the market. It's not going to get any bigger. But these people are trying to get your market. This is what we're going to do. But trends-wise, I mean, yeah, give the customer control, earn the custom, give them incentives, and get them back in. I don't think it's a trend. It's just what should be happening.
It's just the methodology to making something work, no matter what that is. And then, like you said, lead that trend by taking those steps.
Or, you know, every time I'm looking at an idea, obviously the three questions: does it save time? Does it save money? Does it help sell more? So
outside of the customer side and the driver side, which a number of incentives and benefits, and you've mentioned a lot of that, looking at the retailers, the wholesalers, the garages, the people bringing this solution out to their customers and to their drivers. A lot of this is the data that's being captured and the data and how that can be used to inform future decisions, discounts, areas to focus on, and so forth. How important is that when you look at working with someone like Stapletons, for example, of all the data that they're able to then utilize?
Well, data is a hot topic with everyone I speak to. So whoever I talk to,
the number one word.
Yeah. I've like I say, I've been around for a long time, and the data that we can get using the scanner and the clubs, you know, we get average what the average mileage that the vehicle's doing. So we know their purchase history because we've got links to the garage. So it's absolutely huge. But as you know, from GDPR rules, it's difficult then to, okay, let's settle on, right, who owns this data? It's the retailer. I've always felt whatever I do, I want to help the independent retailer. Now I've brought the driver into these solutions. So what we've done, because it's very difficult for retailers to find time, to be honest, it's difficult for them to capture the data in the first place. Difficult for them to find time and also there's resources, you buy an email system. So our system, that's the communication bit. So we created something called Driver Smart, and we use that data on the retailer's behalf then to remind that customer, okay, you need to recheck your tires. Or we noticed last time that there were signs of misalignment.
Some predictive stuff as well.
Exactly. So we just predict based on all of the data we've got on what we send out to the customer, remind the customer.
And that really helps establish that trust. We go back to that trust point because there's someone looking out for you.
Yeah.
Rather than you having to do it all yourself.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's what really the data has the potential to be, that kind of eye in the sky, if used correctly. Obviously the data is coming in, but it does no good just sitting somewhere. It has to be leveraged.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what we find. And like I said, it's difficult for a retailer who's he's an owner, he's a manager, he's picking up the phone, he's fitting tires, it's hard for them. So that's why we put the communication bit on top of the sales and the marketing and top of the scanner to take care of it, really. Yeah, and it does it all. So like you said, customers don't mind getting an email, 6 months down the line to say, listen, we checked your tires, you probably need some more. Click this button. You can either get a free check or scan them yourself.
And maybe get something a little bit cheaper than you would buy it anytime else.
And if you need a tire, is a discount for a certain brand.
And that's really important for the wholesalers and the retailers, like you said, because it brings it to them, opens the door that maybe was closed before, really gives them all the opportunity in the world to succeed.
Yeah, that's why it ticks the boxes because, for instance, Stapletons they've got their own brands in the UK. They've got exclusive brands, so they want to push their brand, which is natural. And to be honest, another thing that I've been thinking about, the mid range, there's 700 brands in the UK, which is ridiculous.
It's an insane amount for a very small place.
It's absolutely ridiculous. So cleaning that up could be an unintended positive consequence, and that helps everyone. It helps a retailer because they can focus, there's availability. Stapletons can forecast a bit better. Okay, yeah, we're going to need this. So actually forecasting with the data we're getting.
From a supply chain point of view, it's huge.
Absolutely. So we're solving that issue. We're also solving the returns issue because we use a sidewall scanner. So it's about 25% e-commerce return rate at the moment. So people are buying tires and getting the wrong ones. It's 25%.
It's a huge cost.
Oh, it's massive. So the initial pilot scheme, we've eliminated returns. Everyone that's bought from the club to the website to the centre completely eliminated returns. So that's a huge benefit for people like Stapletons who have to take the tyre out and then go and pick it back up.
And from a resource point of view, in an industry that's struggling for people, that checks another box of you don't really, if you're low on staff, you're low on resource, this helps everyone be a little bit more efficient.
Yeah, exactly. Well, when I first went to Stapletons and said, "Oh, what do you think of this idea?" I put a lot of focus on look how much money this might save you.
Yeah, and people, time, everything.
Millions. Yeah.
It really is and I was speaking to someone on a past podcast and they said, if you don't see the return, you're not looking at it right because the return is obvious for all this type of technology. The return is undeniable. Like you said, it's not a hard conversation to have. Look at the difference this can make. Awesome. Well, it's exciting and it sounds like the pilot's going well and obviously we can't wait to see it roll out a little bit more and expand. I mean, that's the goal, right? Just get this in the hands of everyone and reduce those percentages.
Yeah, exactly. We're in phase 2 now. So it's growing day on day at the moment. So yeah.
Fantastic.
Fingers crossed it keeps going.
Well, good. Best of luck and great to have you here as well. And really looking forward to, phase 3 and then on.
Thank you very much, Marc.
Good. And for everyone watching and listening today, thank you very much for joining us on this podcast and this episode of the Auto Tech Show. Lots to digest, but it sounds like things are on the up and up. And as we said, just being a trendsetter, looking at these solutions from how they can save you time, save you money, and try to reduce some of these percentages of unknown and really close those educational gaps, the other gaps that exist in the tire wholesale and retail spaces. So hopefully you learned a lot. I certainly did. Thank you all very much for joining me again. And a big thank you to Tony for joining me as well. We'll see you on the new episode of the Auto Tech Show very soon. Wishing you all a great day wherever in the world you may be. Bye for now.